Welcome to week 5. We are in China, and I just want to say these last 2 weeks have the hardest and longest challenges, so I'm going to cut and make them as clear as I can as soon as I remember how they all play out, because that was definitely a difficulty with this video.
Three months had passed since our humiliating defeat. The press had finally turned their attention elsewhere. We had withdrawn from the world and moved closer to nature and horses. I felt great. My anger had dissipated in this calm. The mountainside walks and the restful chattering of the streams eased my winter frustrations. However, to satisfy my desire for revenge, I needed more. I started training like a high-level competitor. Nothing had come between my objectives and myself.
In particular, with the photos for this week, there is many things. There's 3 pointy-headed Buddhas. One of them you won't be able to access until week 2. The wild horse is there, but the image of the horse is not, so I just happen to know where it is. And then I could not find the Chinese temple. I literally went through every single path and I couldn't find it. And I know it's there, so I'm going to need another video and another walk later this week to figure out where it is.
So how did your stay with MC Mellon go?
One word for it: paradise. His house was a mansion, huge grounds, swimming pool, everything a star could want. I also discovered his secret passion: horse riding. He had the use of a local stable, and on his rest days would go and take care of his horses. It was the first contact I'd ever had with the animals, and I confess, they fascinated me. After teaching me the basics of horseback riding, he showed me how intelligent they are and how alert to our moods and reactions they can be. His stable offered starter lessons, and I signed up immediately. Of course, MC Mellon didn't give me lessons. He was far too busy on tour. But I am forever grateful to him for introducing me to my passion, and I seriously decided I wanted to work with horses. But one day, something happened to change my mind.
You changed your mind? I don't understand.
If you come back, I'll tell you.
Are you ready to carry on your story, Miguel?
You've listened to me up to now, and so I won't offend you by silence. Anyway, none of it was my fault. The businessman who had it in for my father had not only decided to take revenge, but also destroy his life. And he went all out. He set up a whole scam to make my mother believe that my father didn't love her anymore. He imitated my father's handwriting, paid false witnesses, and used other tricks to convince my mum that my father had fallen in love with another woman and that he wanted to leave her. My mother was a proud woman and decided to split, leaving my dad alone with no explanation.
You've got to be a real lowlife to pull a stunt like that.
The man was a real monster. And it all came from ancient history back in Barcelona.
What happened in Barcelona?
My dad and the business guy were good buddies in the past. My dad and him spent lots of time together. The business guy had a son, and he wanted his son to join his business when he was older. But when the son met my dad, his passion for animals won out. He stopped caring for his own father's business and wanted to become a vet. The businessman had lost control over his own son, and he blamed my dad.
But to go from there to marriage breaking, that's madness.
I think the hate gnawed him up inside, and he had no idea of the consequences of his actions. The situation just went from bad to worse.
How so?
Can we talk about it some other time? I want to tell you the tale, but not right away.
As you like. I'll be back.
For the first week in China, there is not that much reading to do, but each reading section takes an extreme amount of your reading time. And to notate everything takes half the time, obviously, as well. So you're going to need 3 library visits before you do dressage or foal care. Fittingly, the weeks get harder and harder with show jumping and longer with cross country. So the show jumping is really heavy on turns. You're going to have to learn how to see that green spot distance mid-turn, unfortunately. And this would be the week where you play around with slowing down your speed in practice training. Like this, I slowed down there, but I still was off. So it's going to take some practice. Coming up to this line is what I was talking about in one of my past videos. You may not necessarily want to be in the blue section because you have 3 fences in a row and you kind of want to be able to see where you're going. So normally coming into a line like this, especially with the smaller takeoff pad, I would maybe not be in the blue section. This is a prime example of coming into a line without being in the blue section, so it just basically allows your camera view angle to stay straight, which is good for the thin and tall fences and those tricky jump pads like that one. All right, I'm going to edit this walk the best I can. I'm not even kidding. It's like 30 minutes of just roaming around. Now, the first walk of the week, I always recommend at the new locations, going down literally every path you can find. Eventually, you're going to get maps, but the China map is huge, and there are so many side paths and secret entrances and all the things. So there is just a lot. Basically, there's a rice paddy field. There's the great part of the Great Wall of China. You basically have your exterior paths and then a whole bunch of stuff in the center. And then you also have paths that go up hills to locations. So there is just so much to this. You're gonna want to go down little side paths. Here's the first of the 3 pointy-headed Buddhas. There are Buddhas that don't have pointy heads, and unfortunately those do not meet the photo criteria. So yeah, it's just a lot. So I'm just gonna piece together the best I can, and I will try and show you. I did find where the horse is, the wild horse, even though the image of the horse is not there because it's like a computer glitch. I think I've only actually seen it once, but I will definitely show you where that is so you can take the photo. It's just not going to have the horse in it. It's actually right where the hay bales are up here. You'll see the big part of the Great Wall of China. And yeah, I'm just going to shorten this best as I can because it was a long video.
The run-in to the competition against Q's academy reawakened an unpleasant feeling in me. I had become short-tempered. No one dared approach me, let alone play cards with me. It was true the stakes were high. If we lost, everything was over, for us and the Sycamore Academy. Q and her team were delightful to us, but there was no way they were going to let us win. A place in the final was at stake. It wasn't a good time to talk to me, and some found out to their peril.
Am I in the way?
Actually, yes, but seeing as you're here...
I just came to say...
What?
The others are organizing a campfire evening, and I thought, if I left you a map, you might want to join us, if that's all right, of course.
There's no time for having fun. In case you didn't know, this competition might be our last ever, and all you can think of doing is building bonfires. Great teamwork, well done. I've really got to learn anger management. Poor Miguel. He only wanted to be nice. Maybe I should go and find them. After all, it's maybe the last quiet moment we'll spend together. But how do I find them now? It's a section of map. The second half is missing. I wonder where it is. It's not all that clear. It looks like waves or flowing water. It's no help at all.
Just gonna pop in and say I crossed out a ton of stuff in this mission because I was just running around like a crazy person. I could not remember where to go or what to do. So just know that I have cut this and I have put in captions to try and help you guys get through this in 5 minutes instead of 40 minutes because I've spent about 3 hours editing this video. It was a mistake.
Hi. Can you tell me if you've seen the other students?
No, not for a while. They were busy organizing a party. Don't tell me you haven't been invited.
Well...
You were invited, but you said no, and now you wish you hadn't. Is that it?
That's the head and tail of it.
There are some things you have to learn, and fast. Friends are hard to come by these days, and as you grow up, they become more and more precious. Never forget how important.
Look, nice of you to say so, but right now I've got to find them first and fast.
I'd like to help, but I have no idea where they've gone. Just a minute. I found this piece of map earlier when I was tidying the student center. Maybe it's got something to do with the party.
Thanks for everything.
Pleasure. I hope it helps you find them.
It maybe shows the meeting place. Good evening, Q.
Good evening, young lady. Not training this evening?
To tell you the truth, my chums are organizing a party, and I'm trying to find them.
That's strange. I would have thought a strong character like yourself could put frivolity aside and concentrate on competition.
That's what I thought to begin with.
What made you change your mind?
I said to myself, our moments together were what counted for me most of all.
I see.
I haven't had much of a chance to be with them lately.
You mean be with him?
You what?
I don't know where your friends have gone, but I do know if you take the left path as you leave here and walk along the paddy field, you'll come to a small shack. That's where I'd go for a party. Here, take this map. It's easier.
Great. I'll check it out. activate it is missing. It's a section of map. I don't understand. There's an island with a dead tree and a kind of cave. But where are they? Oh, and there's something written on the back. Before the firelight, choose the dark, and find a way to the heart of the island. What kind of gobbledygook is that, I wonder? The earth has been dug over here not long ago. It's a rusty old shovel. It's a wooden crank. Okay, I've got the bucket from the bottom of the well. Oh, and there's something inside it. It's a section of map rolled around a stone with a thread attached. There's a leaf drawn on it and another message. I stand before you insignificant. You have seen this century and the last without change. You don't need me, but your soul eye contains the path to friendship's warmth. Why do people have to be so complicated? That stone's really weird. It's like it's magnetic. There's a hole in the tree trunk, but it's too deep for my hand to explore. There's something attached to the magnetic stone. It's a key. It looks really old, like the antiques you find at the dealers. Another map. I think I'll start a collection. There's an inscription. Light the way to guide you to us. It's much too dark down that path. There's no way I'm going down without light. It's a worthless old lantern. It still works, though. There we go. I can explore the path now.
That mission made me literally never want to play this game again, so we'll see you in the next one for part 2.